Good morning, my dear students. Okay, so today we will discuss about new chapter, unit number 8. In the unit number 8, okay, so comparative development experience of India and its neighbors. India and its neighbors. So two neighbor country has been taken. One is China, another is Pakistan. Okay, so the comparison of India, Pakistan, and China in the different areas, okay, in the different sectors. Okay, so question number one. See, question number one, bete. So I am going to read question number one. The present day, the present day fast industrial growth in China can be traced back to the reform introduced in 1978. Defend or refute the above statement. The meaning of the question that in the year 1978, 1978, China adopted the new policy for the industrial growth. Okay, and they also introduced certain reforms in this field. So, do you think those reforms which have been taken by the China in the year 1978 played a very important or crucial role for the growth, industrial growth? Do you agree or not? Okay, do you agree or not? So, statement is correct. If you see the last around 40 or 40 years, or 40 or 41 years, so there is a more changes, positive side changes in the China. So one by one we can discuss. So in the initial phase, reforms were initiated in the field of agriculture, foreign trade, and investment sector. Initially, China started new things in the field of agriculture, in the investment and foreign trade. For example, when you talk about the agriculture commune system, let all of us are the villagers. Okay, so villagers. So all the land will be cultivated together. Got it? To avoid the confusion, to avoid the tussles or other issues, why not to cultivate the land all together? Okay, so all of them they will be paying the intention. Okay, all will be contributing equally for the output. So let there is a division. Let one plot. If you have divided this plot in number of pieces, so avoid the division. Okay, now better to make one plot only. Got it? So whatever initiative should be taken will be taken collectively. Let two wells are enough to irrigate the complete area. Okay, would be two. Let there is a 20 family, group of 20 family. 20 families. So what all the 20 will be doing? They have to install let 20 hand pumps or tube wells. So one or two rather than 20. So cost. This way cost can be minimized. Cost can be minimized. Okay, and in case of collective efforts, output always increases, production always increases with it. This is about the initial phase. Okay, second phase, in the later phase, reform were initiated in the industrial sector. Agriculture over, after agriculture, industrial sector. One, industrial sector. Industrial sector. So private sector forms under ownership and villages enterprise allowed to produce. the goods. At this stage, state-owned enterprises were made to face competition. So private sector, ownership, entrepreneur, they were also allowed, okay, to produce the goods. Okay, and now there was a competition between the public and the private. Whenever there is a competition, automatically the production and the productivity or quality, okay, all these things enhance. Okay, things always in the favor of, we can say, in the favor of customers. Third reform, dual pricing. The process involved the dual pricing. The reform process also involved dual pricing. So this means fixing the price in two ways. Two ways. If you talk farmers and industrialist units were required to buy and sell fixed quantity. Means private and industrial, they were required to fix certain amount of the commodity input and output on the basis of, means, see, let you are producing 100 kg. So let 50% should be sold at a fixed price and the rest of the amount will be sold at the market price. Okay, this is called dual pricing. Got it? Means one price controlled by the government, another is controlled or decided by the market forces. Market forces. Last point, in order to attract foreigners, they make special economic zones. Special economic zones to attract FDI. To attract FDI, China set up special economic zones. Special economic zones like Bengaluru, okay, then Noida, Gurgaon, okay, means making certain places more suitable for the investors. Means providing infrastructure facilities, okay, up to one extent. Means there, if you will be providing all the basic facilities, telecommunication, banking, insurance, market is also there, raw material is easily available, means of transportation, all kind of means of transportation also available near or okay, near to that particular area, and the continuous supply of power. So when all these things are available, so producers and investors, they can invest in that particular area. Okay, that is always suitable for investors. Suitable for the investors. So these are the things changed by the China in 1978 to increase the output. If you talk about agriculture sector, industrial sector, then dual pricing and special economic zones. These are the 4 points. In these 4 areas, China worked. One more point that we can also add, one child policy. So one child policy also followed by the China in the same period, 78. Okay, to control the population growth rate. Okay, to control the population growth rate, China followed one child policy. Has been rolled back 2 years ago, I think. 2 years before, I think. Okay. Question number 2. So question number 2, China did not have any compulsion to introduce reform as directed by the World Bank. As directed by the World Bank and International Monetary Fund to India and Pakistan. So China did not have any compulsion to introduce reforms as dedicated or directed by the World or International Monetary Fund. Means if you see India, China and Pakistan, so there is no any compulsion for the China as compared to India and Pakistan. First part of the question. Second, why did China introduce structural reforms in 78? Okay, so why did China introduce structural reforms in 78? Also evaluate the various factors, different factors that led to the rapid growth in the economic development in China. Okay, what are the factors responsible for the rapid increase or rapid development of the economy? Okay, in the post reforms periods. So after reforms, definitely there is a better change, okay, or favorable changes in China. So this is about the question. Three parts are there. So why not? First part, China introduced economic reform in the year 1978. Okay, of the following reasons. Because of certain reasons, they made some reforms in the economy. First, the new leadership at the time in China was not happy. So new leadership or new politicians, they were not very happy with the slow pace of growth and lack of modernization in the Chinese economy. So in 1978, growth rate, the pace of growth rate was very low, maybe 4%, 5% or 3%. Second, there was nothing like modernization over there. So new faces they wanted that time, modernizations, new introduction of new technology. Okay, so under the Moist rule, okay, name of the MAOIST, Moist rule in China. So he was not happy with the old methods, slow pace. Okay, it was means his okay. Let me change. Means his theories almost failed in the 1978. We can say Moist rule was not up to the mark. Okay, means those were the politicians of that time. They were not much happy with the Moist rule. Means before that they followed his rules, Moist rule. But by this time, all the rules were old, we can say. All the rules were old. So they felt Moist's vision of economic development based on decentralization. Okay. So what was his vision? They felt that the Moist vision of economic development based on decentralization, self-sufficiency and shunning of foreign technology goods and capital had failed. Got it? So this was the main reason. Second, despite extensive land reforms, okay, many are there like you, many are there like you waiting. Is there any, you may say good morning, don't want to reply, many are there, those who don't want to. Anyway, okay, despite extensive land reforms, great leap forward, great leap forward, leap forward, great leap forward, GLF, great leap forward. Okay, despite extensive land reforms, the Great Leap Forward and other initiative per capita gain output in 78 was same as it was in the mid 50s. Okay, so if you compare two period, mid 50s and around this period, so per capita income, it was almost same, baby. Means there was no any big difference over these two periods. Okay, so though started many things, but overall there was no any difference. Okay, so it was also the reason for the economic reforms. So during 80s and 90s, when many developed countries were finding it difficult to maintain growth rate 5%, China was able to maintain double digit growth rate 10% in 80s and 90s. Okay, so it was, see, they followed these means new forms in 78. Now 80 and okay and 90. Between this time they were able to maintain double digit, two digit growth rate, double digit growth rate. It was because of new reforms which they adopted in the year 1978. Next point, the various factors that led to rapid growth in economic development in China in the post-reforms forms. Okay, post-reforms means after 1978. Okay, which were the various factors? First, for the rapid growth, first point, establishment of infrastructure in the areas of education and health. Okay, so infrastructure, establishment of infrastructure in the field of health and education. So like developed countries, China also focused on the education and health. Okay, so these two sectors was controlled by the government, okay, to increase literacy rate and to maintain the health of public. Second, land reforms were also introduced, collective farming introduced there. Law, third point, long existence of decentralized planning. Centralized and decentralized planning. Decentralized planning, centralized means in the hand of one person or one organization. Decentralizes, the meaning of decentralized, as you know, means division of the power or planning. Fourth point, existence of small enterprises. Okay, like we have in India, micro, small, medium. Okay, so they also introduce small enterprises at village level, okay, or at a community level, so that development can be achieved. Okay, so they did not means China did not focus on the large scale, but also the micro and small scale industries. Okay, so these were the reason which led the economic growth for the China. Okay, now third part of the question was, okay, evaluate the various factors that led to the rapid growth of economic development in China post. So in these areas China developed. Okay, next, so each reform measures was first implemented in the small level. Let they started any program and the policy. Initially, it was started at the small scale, mean like pilot survey. Okay, like a survey, they tested it first of all. It was okay. Then they go for the or they went for the large scale. Okay, means before massive production, they what they did, they had a pilot survey for the same. Second, experimentation under the decentralized government enable the access of economic, social, political cost of success or failure. For example, when reforms were made in agriculture, so by handling over a plot of land to the individual for cultivations. So what they did, if they have given the one land, they gave one piece of the land for the cultivations. And what were the outcomes, results? So on the basis of those results, they had massive, okay, massive scale production of the same. And they also make the conditions suitable in the, or we can say in the favor of the producer entrepreneurs, in the favor of entrepreneurs. Okay, so this is about question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 3 waiting. Okay, in the question number 3, I will share one data. Got it? I will be sending you. So I've shared one data with you, Vete. Got it? So it will help us to answer the certain points or headings like life expectancy. Okay, people below poverty line, then infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rates. So these points we had to discuss with the help of data for all the countries, India, China and Pakistan. So I am going to read the question from this end. In India, in China, the lack of political freedoms and its implication for the human right are major concern. Yet in the last 3 decades, it has succeeded in the rising the level of growth along with the elevation of poverty. China is moving ahead of India and Pakistan in terms of the many human development indicators. Many human development indicators. So see human development indicators of India, Pakistan and China. Though there are some restrictions, political freedom is not there. Okay, and human rights, if you talk about, okay, so implication for the human rights, okay, also major concern. It means not up to the mark. Oh, question for the 4 marks. So see human. Okay, so this question we have to answer on the basis of human development indicators. So 4 indicators are there. First, life expectancy. So see the life expectancy India, Pakistan and China. So life expectancy around 69 years in India, 76 in China and Pakistan, 67. So if you talk about the life expectancy, China ahead of those two. Second indicator, which is people below poverty line. People below poverty line. So around 60% in India, 23%, China and 46 in Pakistan. Infant mortality rate per 1000 live births. For 1000 live birth. So India 35. Infant mortality rate 35 out of 1000. In China around 8 per 1000. In Pakistan 64 per 1000. Maternal mortality rate per lakh for 1 lakh births. Okay. So 174 maternal mortality rate in India for 1 lakh births, and China 27 and Pakistan 178. 178. So these are the indicators. On the basis of this we have to answer. So please learn this data, because this data will help you. Because this data will help us to answer the given question. Okay. Next question is question number 4. So question number 4, in Pakistan, the reform process led to the worsening of all the economic indicators. However, during the last few years, Pakistan has recovered its economic growth and has been sustaining. In Pakistan, the reform process led to worsening of all the economic indicators. Economic indicators were very poor, we can say. So, however, during the last few years, there is somewhat change. So, about that we had to discuss. Okay. So, defend or refute the given statement. 6 mark. The given statement is correct. See, point number 1, declining growth rate. Declining growth rate. So, reform process introduced in Pakistan led to declining growth rate in Pakistan. Means the policy which was made by the Pakistan was not up to the mark and did not turn in a positive way. The annual growth rate was 6% in 80s and 90s, decreased to 5% in 15 and 17. So right now around 5% growth rate. Second, re-emergency of poverty. Re-emergence of poverty. The proportion of the poor in 80s was 25%, which started rising again during the 90s. Means if you talk about the poverty, then percentage of the poor people also increasing, poverty, okay, number of poor people also increasing, re-emergence of poverty. Okay. Next, the reason for the slowdown of growth and emergence of poverty in Pakistan, it is because of the following points. First, violent performance of agriculture sector. Volatile, not means consistent performance of the agriculture sector is not there. Means if we want that agriculture sector should perform more and more. For that we had to give number of facilities and the other things to the farmers. Have to introduce the technology, harvesting machine, threshers, tractors. Okay, and you might have seen big machines which are required for the farming on a large scale. Then we have to provide the fertilizer chemicals, means we have to give subsidies to the farmers, regular or continuous supply of the water, or we can say supply of the power, those so that they can irrigate their land. So these things were not up to the mark in Pakistan. Okay. Second point, over dependence on remittance and the foreign aid. Means every time Pakistan is dependent on sometime like China, America, Middle East countries for aids or donation. Okay, like a beggar. Got it? Means this was the main reason. Third point, political instability over a longer period of time. So during the last few years, so there is a political instability. That is also the main reason. Okay, so these are the points responsible for the low economic growth of China. Low economic growth in China. So two questions are left. Those we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. So I will be giving you one question for class test only. Okay, out of 3. 1 out of 3. Please check after regular classes your Google Classroom app. Okay. Good day, bete. You can revise now. You people can revise now.